everyone to the call. You know, it's hard to believe that we're in the month of October already, but I love our first Monday night call, Founder Night. We're starting a new month, and what a better way to start than having a founder on. So tonight we have Mr. Joe Morton with us. I could spend 10 minutes or more introducing Joe Morton. When I think about Joe, I go back to the beginning. I think about when Joe was in Malaysia. I think about the conversation he had with his father, Gordon Morton Sr. You know, Joe wanted to come home. He wanted to quit. And then I think about, well, what if he did? We would not be here. Many lives would not have been changed. You know, every time I see Gordon Morton Sr. at an event, I go up to him and I thank him for telling him, Joe, you are our leaders and leaders don't quit. You know, people are depending on you. So Joe stayed in Malaysia, and because of his past, how he grew up, the knowledge he had, not only understanding botanicals, understanding nutrition, but also understanding network marketing, Joe started asking questions. He learned about the mangosteen, about the folklore and the benefits of the mangosteen fruit. Joe knew the mangosteen was never brought to market, and Joe knew a way to get it done. I am very grateful Joe did not come home because this was the beginning of Xango. Joe Morton is passionate about Xango. He is passionate about the distributors. Joe travels the world doing meetings for distributors to help us grow our business by sharing the Xango story. He is tireless. You know, I've seen Joe Morton many times at meetings. I've done many meetings with Joe over the last 13 years, and I've seen him at meetings be the last one to leave, talking to guests, talking to distributors, answering their questions, and taking a sincere interest in them. I respect Joe as a founder of our company. I respect him as a leader, as a mentor, and I consider him a very close friend. So please help me welcome our founder, Mr. Joe Morton. Joe, are you on the line?
I am indeed, Marlene. Oh, you are so kind. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. We're so excited to have you here with us this evening. Now, Joe, you just attended a meeting in Chicago that John and Gina Jurowitz and I hosted. John and Gina and I and many of the people that attended that meeting, we're so pumped about that meeting. I mean, it was a great time. We had a lot of fun. Our focus for that meeting was the ERA's 2-Minute Miracle Gel. I mean, we had Shelley Skype in. We did live demonstrations. Everyone was interacting. There was a lot of excitement going on. We had product to sell, which I never did before. I never sold product at a meeting, so that was new for John and Gina and myself. But we did sell out, and I'll tell you, if we had more product there, we would have sold it. So the feedback was awesome. We had a lot to cover in a short period of time, and people loved how the meetings flowed. And you were amazing. So, Joe, do you want to add anything, what we learned from that event?
Thank you so much, Marlene, and thank you for your kind words. Right back at you. Honestly, we've done a lot of meetings together, Marlene. I'm trying to think, and that doesn't include all the trips we've been on. I mean, we've been on some pretty dang cool trips, haven't we? All around the world.
Have.
And
sure have.
But when I think of all the meetings that we've done, I've really enjoyed our time. And yes, that meeting in Chicago was magical. It was something took place there, you know. It was kind of a standard meeting for everyone listening for the first time. I know a lot of you are just getting this new amazing product of ours probably middle of last week, some not even until Thursday, you know, depending on when it was shipped and where it was shipped for you and when you ordered it. But we're in the pre-launch phase of this. It officially launches in 2 weeks. But it just happened to be that John and Gina and Marlene invited me to do this meeting they were having. They didn't even know at the time. You know that, Marlene. I think you all knew that we were doing the 2-Minute Miracle that time because we were very tight-lipped at that. And here we are. Suddenly we turned it literally like a week before. Remember, we did a conference call. We're like, let's turn this thing into a 2-Minute Miracle, ERA's 2-Minute Miracle Gel meeting. And we arranged to have product there. And you're right. It was different in multiple ways, Marlene. It was different because we went right into the product. I mean, you guys played the video so that the guests in the room could know a little bit about the company, which I thought was really well done, by the way. Video of Xango explained the company history. I came up just for a couple minutes, and boom, we went right into it, right? We went right into the 2-minute miracle, explaining it. And we had Shelley go through it, and she happened to be live, so come this event in Vegas, you'll be able to have videos that help explain the product, and that's going to be part of the launch. But we had her be able to explain the product. We did a live demonstration on pegs, which I thought she was an awesome Vanna White for us to do that. She's so beautiful and did a perfect job with it. And then it just went, it was so natural, Marlene. It just turned into human touch. People just literally just talking, and we did live demonstration, everyone with their hands, and walked them through that whole process, and just the room just came alive. It was so fun, Marlene. Just came alive. People talking, getting up, walking around the room, showing each other what just happened. A couple people put it on their face. And the questions that came from it were beautiful. And we answered those questions. And honestly, 1 hour, once we started talking about the product, 1 hour went like that. It was like it's just over because it was so fun. And yes, we did something different. We did demonstrations, live demonstrations for every person in the room, which was really pretty easy, wouldn't you say, Marlene? I mean, it's not like they have to go and change their clothes or something. This is pretty easy to do. Put it right on their hands. Or, in a couple instances, they put it on their face. They had literally 2-minute results. And then the ask for the sale was so simple. And you had product right there, and it sold every bit of it, didn't it?
It did. It was a great event, and I want to thank you really for being there with us, because we felt like we just were very excited, and it was awesome. But now, Joe, if you
and we learned real quick, Marlene. You asked about what did we learn? Make sure you have product, guys. Seriously, if you're going to have an event and talk about this product, make sure you have product. And we kind of limited it because of the size of the group and the size of the inventory that we had on hand. But honestly, you could have, you'll sell out of whatever you have. It's that simple, and it's so fun. So, anyways, go back to you, Marlene.
Absolutely, it was great. I mean, very exciting event. So, Joe, if you would please share with us, this is really exciting. What I'm going to ask you next, because I know our listeners would really like to hear this, and tell us where we have been, where we are now, and where are we going?
It's a great question. Where we have been, we really just came from our 14-year anniversary, if you count, when we officially registered as a company on September 11, 2002. And we started selling product in November of 2002 and started taking applications that same month. And so what have we accomplished? Lots of things, and we talk about our accolades quite regularly, Marlene. I mean, you've heard about all the different awards. You walk through our building, and there's award after award after award, and we've taken literally over 1,000 people to Thailand and thousands to Hawaiian Islands and Mexico and Caribbean islands and Greece and all throughout Europe and Asia and well, the list goes on and on and on. The amount of amazing things, the conventions, the speakers, all these different things, and then of course the numbers of how much people have made in the company, and the amount of dreams that have come true, and that is amazing. So where we have been is where the air has been, everyone, and I want you to really think about that for a moment. How few companies, very, 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 very few companies will ever accomplish what this team here, and I heard the names that were coming in, chiming in, and we can start going through every name with of course, Collie and you, Marlene, and Ray, and the different people that have come, Brice and Bob, and others who have gone in this call, and I don't want to miss anyone out, but there's a lot of people on the call. The things that we have done is amazing, but we have to understand how very rare that very thin that air is that we've all experienced. Now take a breath for just a moment. Recognize what we've done. Just play back in your mind, especially those who have been on these trips. And now those who are with us for the first time, start looking forward just a second and say, okay, it's a clean slate. Man, they've accomplished a lot. Yeah, they've accomplished a lot. It's beautiful. I've heard about it. The conventions are great, these incentive trips. The vast amount of places we've gone and done, and now it doesn't even hold a candle to what we're about to accomplish and where we're going. And that's where I want us to focus. Think about where we're going. We set an intention to get to annual billion sales in 5 years. Now, the air is starting to get really thin. Very few have ever accomplished what we've accomplished. And we need to be so grateful. And I hope that we all wake up grateful. I do. And just say, wow, what an experience. And it has been. Well, man, where we're going, ooh, doggy. That's where the air is very thin. And I want you to know that I can see it. That I'm grateful before it's even happened, because it's already happened up here. It's already happened. So where we're going is amazing. And what's happened so far with the 2-Minute Miracle has already dwarfed what happened in our first month of Xango Juice. And we haven't even launched it yet. We haven't even launched it. But basically, we've only had it for a week. And for many people, not even a week, not even a couple days. And so it's already dwarfed what we accomplished in that an entire first month in less than a couple days. So where this is going, volume's up this month. Recruiting was up. I'm talking last month because we just transferred over. Going into this next month, we're building towards this. So what do you want to accomplish? And I ask you to do the same thing and close your eyes for a moment and be grateful for where you're going in the next 5 years. Where you're going to see your business. And I'm telling you, it's great. It's amazing. And the amount of lives that will be touched and the amount of people's health and wellness and dreams, and they're just going to start coming on board. And oh my goodness. I'm grateful for y'all. I'm grateful for y'all for where we've been so far. And I'm also grateful for where we're all going together. So where we're going is pretty big, Marlene. And we've reached a cumulative a couple $1 billion in sales, but I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about that $1 billion annually that we will reach in 5 years or less.
Yeah, wow. Well, thank you for sharing that. Now, my next question is, Joe, what are your thoughts on building a single business today? I mean, we have great products. Obviously, we have our flagship products. Many of us built with that product, or we only had that product for 5 years, the first 5 years. And of course, we've got our Pro line, and I love our Picks line. If you want to comment on that because I love Picks. And then we've got, of course, our 2-Minute Miracle Gel, our Eris 2-Minute Miracle Gel, and the Eris line. So what are your thoughts? I mean, what are your thoughts on building our Xango business today? How do we focus?
Oh, it's a great question. You know, Aaron and I have been talking about this a lot lately with our partners, and we have incredible products. If I sign up today, Marlene, you just signed me up today, and man, I am jazzed about the Pro line. That's my thing. Limitless, Ignite, Reload, giddy up. I'm ready to run with this thing. This is what brought me in. You know that I'm interested in energy. This is my thing. Then you talk to Aaron, the next, and his thing is Eris 2-Minute Miracle Gel. And then you talk to Collie, and her thing is Picks. Oh my goodness, I love these Picks. This is great. This is what brought us into the business. And when we come into the business, now I've come in because of the Pro line, and I'm loving them, and I'm having a great experience. Now I say, I'm ready. I want to build the business, Marlene. I believe the next step for me, or whomever it is coming into business, is learn about our Xango Juice. Xango Juice is what brought us to this point in time. This is what we all love and adore. And whether this process is a day, or whether this process is a week, or 2 weeks, or a month, or 2 months, at that point when I'm ready, when Aaron's ready, when Collie's ready, or whomever it is that you bring into the business, it's one case or two. So let me tell you about Xango Juice. And I love how Aaron puts that. It's one case or two. This is what built this company to this massive success that we've had so far. And that's the product formulation that has not changed all around the world. So you get me into the business, and I'm stoked about the Pro line. Well, the Pro line may not be fully available in a place like Mexico, for example, due to government regulations and so forth, and nothing that distributors have done wrong or we've done wrong. It just happens to be that those products are tough to get into the market. Well, we have Xango juice, and it's the same formula that you're drinking here in the United States. It's one case or two. And so I can then introduce the business to a person in Mexico or whichever the country is. That formula has remained the same in every country around the world. So that's how I see it. One case or two. Aaron kind of gave this speech in Europe a couple of weeks ago, and that was the approach that he took. It's one case or two, or three or four, depending on how much you want to build with it and drink of it, of course. But that's the basics of our business. How we bring into the company. Now, this is a beautiful thing too, Marlene. It's a good question because there's a person who I hope will be in. I believe he'll be in Vegas, and the person came in the first month, got to 10K. And interesting, when I met her, she signed up right at the beginning of the month when we announced the 2-Minute Miracle. And when I met her, I said, she said, "Oh my gosh, I'd known about you guys." And her comment was, "I would never have known about how good your products were had it not been for the 2-Minute Miracle. That's just kind of what attracted me to it. But now that I'm in, oh my goodness, you have incredible products, and this Xango juice is amazing." See, we have this opportunity with this 2-Minute Miracle gel that has an incredible brand recognition, that has a history that is so easy and so demonstratable and so truly stands up to its name. And it's 100% effective with 100% of the people 100% of the time. But now, and PICS, you could say the same thing. You give someone the calm, and boy, you may not want to have them try to operate a heavy machinery after taking calm because it works that quick. And so we can have these, but then when they come into the business, then the story of mangosteen and xanthones and Xango and however that beautiful story of the mangosteen fruit can come in and make so much more sense. And now people go, I'm open. So it's one case or two. That's
I love
how
it.
I see it, Marlene.
Yeah, and it's basically, you and I had this conversation in Chicago, is, whatever product you're bringing them in with, but then engaging them, getting them into onto the calls, into the events, the meetings, the home parties, whatever you want to call it, and then, keeping them engaged. I mean, they're going to see the culture of Xango. They're going to meet with the distributors, the other people that are building. I mean, I think it's awesome. But we have different products that we are going to bring them in with, and then once but again, it's just keeping them engaged.
Exactly.
All right.
When they come in, then it's time. We have that beautiful juice that we know works.
Oh gosh, absolutely. All right, Joe, I have a question. What is the significance of attending VISTA? What can we anticipate, and why is it important to get, not only for us to be there, but to get as many people from our teams to attend with us?
Good question, Marlene. And that is a question that came up in Chicago. Let's use that as an example.
It did.
Someone came up and said, "Why do I need to be there?" And there's lots of different there's lots of different reasons why someone should be in Chicago, in Vegas, and at the VISTA event. And we've used this terminology a lot before. Leaders are born at events. Now, why is that though? And John and Gina actually shared their story, didn't they? Right at the beginning, saying had it not been for them getting to an event, they would not be where they are today, which is 100K premier, $1 million earners. Where they are at this
Yes.
moment in time, and they had to be at that event. It was beautiful.
That's the event that Ron and I met them at. They came to our first event in Chicago.
That's right. And it's because they attended an event. So what happens at an event? There's lots of different things that happen at an event. But here, I'm just going to mention 3 different points: vision, education, and action. And I say vision because you come, and now for you, Marlene, you've been to lots of events, but it still helps you with your vision, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
It helps me with my vision. I'm sure if we were to open up the lines and say, Collie, Ray, whomever else is on this line, does it help you with your vision? And the answer will be yes, because we come there and we're dreamers. This is what we do. We're entrepreneurs. The people on this phone call are entrepreneurs, and you're dreamers. And you're here for a reason. And guess who needs to feed the dreamers and the visionaries? We have to kind of take control of that ourselves. And by attending an event like this, we are fed. We are fed by being around like-minded dreamers, by being around like-minded visionaries. And we truly feed off of one another, and we grow and develop. And it's a beautiful thing. So our vision expands, our vision grows. Suddenly, John and Gina go to an event and go, wait, I can do this. I think that's what they said, wasn't it, Marlene, at the beginning of the
It
day?
was.
They said,
it was.
I can do this. If that person did this and that person, I can do this. And that's what happens. Our vision goes, it opens up and it expands. For that reason alone, a person needs to be there, and we need to feed our dreams and feed our visions and feed our whys. That's one thing that happens, so vision. Number 2, education. We're going to be there. We're going to have a chance to hear from Shelley herself, the actual inventor of this product, the formulator of this product, and how it's become the best formulation she's had in 14 years by adding the mangosteen and taking out some of these other ingredients to create the best formula that she's had yet. And it's with us here at Xango. Us. We have that formula. And we have that product that has legs that's going to go. And we should be educated. We need to be educated. My brother, Dr. Morton's going to be there. He's going to talk on a little bit more of a scientific level about the skin and the importance of skin. There may be another product or two that might be slipped into this particular event to be talked about. You're going to hear education on different products. You're going to have recognition that takes place, but education, that's key. Vision, education, and then action. Action is important. If you think about whenever you've experienced something great in your lives, you take action. When I think of the great, you asked me about the past, what we accomplished in the past, Marlene. In the past, there was massive action taken. And when I think of those early days, Collie, with you and everyone else who was on this call that were with us in these early days, boy, we took massive action. You know, I'm reading this incredible book right now, and I actually recommend it. Some of you have been following me on Facebook. You may have noticed it. Actually, Zach recommended it, Marlene. Zach and he's got his team reading. It's called The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. Aha, it's so good. And in Chapter 7, he talks about there's 4 degrees of action. And you can imagine there's, the first degree of action is just don't do anything, and that's, of course, not where we're at. The next degree of action is retreat. Of course, we're not there either, although some people do. They're like, I tried that thing before, network marketing. No, I'm not going to do that anymore, and they retreat and miss out on an opportunity, sadly. Some take normal level of action. You know what? That's not for us. Normal level of action is not for us. I don't want to be just watching this business kind of exist. Existing is not for us at Xango. It may have been at some point, not anymore for any of us. We're taking step number 4 according to this 4 degrees of action, which is take massive action. And that's what's going to happen. It's been happening over this last month. That's why volume's up, sales are up. People don't even barely have the product yet, and it's happening. In fact, I had multiple experiences last week talking to people who had gotten their product, say, on Wednesday, and they had already sold through their first 6-pack by Thursday. That's called massive action, taking massive action. And when you have a product like this that is so duplicatable, it's just makes it that much easier to take massive action. But nonetheless, whether it's got an easier sell of a product or not, in order to be successful in this business, we must take massive action. And that's been happening. And when we hit Vegas, that Vista event in Vegas in 2 weeks, boom, massive action clicks in, and we just start going. And we start going, and I'm telling you folks, this is where this event is going to lead us to massive action. So that's kind of in a nutshell where I see it. Vision, our dreams expanding. Number 2, education. You don't want to miss out on this, because as we take this, just think about that brief moment, Marlene, of how important it was to have Shelley speaking through a Skype call, how much we learned. And that was just a short 30 minutes of her on a Skype call. She's going to be on stage actually explaining the product in more detail, walking us through it, giving demonstrations. For 2 days we'll have this kind of on and off moments, and she won't be able to be in person for many events. And so this is going to be one of these times to be able to educate ourselves. And by doing this, we go from there, teamed up, taking massive action to build our business. Oh, I want to be in Vegas.
Yeah, absolutely. I briefly want to just share, when Ron and I first joined this company, we didn't think we had to be at the first event. We didn't make it for the first event in Vegas. I'm going to tell you something, big mistake. And every event after that, we never missed. So I agree with you. And Joe, I just want to thank you for everyone on this call. We appreciate you so much, and thank you for sharing with us this evening and spending time with us. I know this is a very busy time. I know a lot of stuff is going on at Xango. You were 2 weeks out from Vegas, but wow, we've got a lot of excitement going on here, and we value your time, and thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, Marlene, and thank you, Collie, and thank you, team, for inviting me. Love you all, and let's go hit it. Let's take this massive action and build towards Vegas. Thank you, Marlene.
All right. You are so welcome. Okay, Collie, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Marlene, and thank you, Joe. And it is most certainly go time here again at Xango, and it is very exciting. For me, I've been in the industry for a really long time, and I've been part of some first waves, but I have never been with a company through a second wave. And as it's here, and it's exciting to see, I've seen it as a witness, but I've never participated in it, and it's just awesome. So, all right, a little bit of housekeeping here, and Marlene, I also failed to introduce you at the beginning of this, so I apologize for that. But Marlene Brice, folks, who you just heard from, who interviewed our wonderful founder, her and her sweetheart Ron have been in this industry for a very, very, very long time. And Marlene has played different roles along the way. And I know when she lost her sweetheart, she had to step up and lead an organization in a way that was out of her comfort zone a little bit. But oh my gosh, what a tremendous leader. We're all so blessed to have you, and thank you so much. Not just a multi-million-dollar earner and an industry veteran, but somebody who loves and leads her team with just passion and love beyond, well, we all lead with love, but Marlene, you're just amazing. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Collie.
Real quickly with some housekeeping here. Xango United leaders are those who bring these Maximize Monday calls together. The recordings can be found on the Xango United Facebook page at facebook.com/Xango United. And just look in the notes, click on the notes, and you'll see the recordings. You'll also see them posted right on the Facebook page as well. And also make sure you like that page, and also like the Xango corporate page, which is facebook.com/Xango Juice, so that anytime there are posts there or news, that you'll be the first to know, and you'll hear about that. Also want to make sure everybody knows about the new Xango shopping cart. We have shop.xango.com as our cart that we've had for years, but the beta cart, which is going to be live soon, it is live now, but you have to go to betashop.xango.com. And when you go there, you'll find the Xango Eris 2-Minute Miracle Gel both under the featured section as well as under the Xango Eris. Now, when you first put Xango Eris in your cart, right now it's available in a 6-pack only while we're in pre-launch. You'll see a retail price, You don't have to pay retail. All you have to do is go to the member ID, put in your ID number. It then changes to wholesale, which is what we want to pay. And when you have your cart, if there's somebody who wants to purchase some, you can check out and pay for it yourself, but you can also share the link to your cart, a little share button, and they will get a link already populated in the cart to the Xango shopping cart, and then just give them your distributor ID number, tell them to register, put your referral ID number, and then they'll be able to pay wholesale too. And what also happens is they get signed up under you automatically for free. So that's really exciting. Our training site, for those of you who are brand new, XangoPowerOf3.com, and it's a Xango corporate training site. There are 8 simple steps that you'll see on the landing page. It's making your list and setting your goals. Make sure you do that. And then you'll also see the whole distributor kit online, trainings, recordings, and other resources there as well. And of course, the corporate site is Xango.com. You want to make sure you go there and look at latest to see the latest news and information. That's the blog, and events. And the events will show you the Xango Vista event, which you're going to want to go to. The other event is our Xango Paradise trips. Now, these are annual trips. The next one's going to be in the summer of 2017. And all you need to do to qualify for that trip is generate 5,000 in volume and promote to the next rank, to 5K or above. So if you're brand new, ask the person who sponsored you to tell you how to win your trip to Paradise. And we've had 2 trips so far, and everyone has had, I think one had 500 or 600, one had 700 or 800 people from all over the world enjoying their trip in Paradise. Let's see, the last thing is the 2-Minute Miracle Gel is still in pre-launch. You can get a 6-pack now. You can call Xango. You can go to betashop.xango.com. You can go to the regular shopping cart. But make sure that you have some product. And in closing, I would just like to say thank you from all of the Xango United leaders. We are here every Monday night for you to inspire, to motivate, to educate. So tune in on Monday nights, and we will see you on the next call. Thank you again, Joe. Thank you again, Marlene. And thank you all, Xango Nation.
Thank you, Collie. Thank you, Marlene.